From the Post-Millennial, breaking, Karmelo Anthony's reps call police on Austin Metcalf's father for attending press conference after his boy was stabbed to death. From the Post-Millennial, representatives for Karmelo Anthony in his murder case in the killing of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf called the police on Metcalf's father for showing up to a Thursday press conference that they were holding. According to ABC8, the Next Generation Action Network, which is a Dallas-based activist group that has taken on the role of publicly defending Anthony, called the police and asked Jeff Metcalf to be removed from the scene. Anthony was released from jail and placed under house arrest after being charged with the murder of Austin Metcalf. Anthony admitted to stabbing Metcalf at a track meet. According to police, he has claimed self-defense in the case and has garnered national media attention. I don't think you could possibly make a worse move. This man, whose son is dead at the hands of the defendant here, who also said, look, I don't want to see this turned into a racial thing. I want, he was looking for the best way to handle it that he could, with the least malice and the most charity. And then he shows up here and they decide they're going to kick him out. He
was probably going to be nice.
What's this video?
He was probably going to make amends. That seems like what his whole MO has been anyway. This was just totally disgusting.
Libby, what's this video here? Is this just him being walked out?
Yeah, we should watch it.
Dude, this is why you can't be charitable. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the police took him out.
It's disgusting how they're treating this guy's dad. He said it was disrespectful for him to show up. Do you have proof of that?
How about it's disrespectful that his son stabbed somebody?
It's disrespectful that they're bringing out this Dominique Alexander guy who's trying to cosplay as a civil rights leader over a murder case.
Some old weird stuff with this guy.
Yes. So I was looking into him. He, there was some case where he was babysitting his girlfriend's toddler and the kid ended up sustaining a bunch of injuries and he admitted to shaking the baby.
Oh, that's not good.
He also was, his girlfriend reported him for domestic assault. He's been
always the bottom of the barrel.
Thrown in jail.
And this is the representative
for forgery.
For Karmelo Anthony's family.
Yeah. So this guy is the last person I would bring in if I'm trying to prove to everyone that my son is nonviolent and also credible. Like you bring in a guy with a history of violence who's, gone to jail over forgery. I'm sorry.
And to that point, the Post-Millennial reports Karmelo Anthony's rep blames Frisco School District weather for fatal stabbing death of Austin Metcalf. This guy is going to botch this so bad that even though I didn't think that Karmelo Anthony was going to get the death penalty, I think that he might end up getting the death penalty because of his poor representation. I assumed he's probably would get 25 years.
No, the death penalty was taken off the table.
He's
17.
Was it? He can't. He can't have it. He can.
So he's going to end up in jail for life then because of this.
Well, life with the
prison
possibility
was
of parole.
also taken off the table.
Yeah, he can. Well, he can have life with the possibility of parole. They can give him that, but they can't give him life without the possibility of parole.
Yeah, they're playing
with this kind of representation,
totally the wrong way.
I mean,
but yeah, they kicked him out, and then this guy was also, the representative was also talking about how the weather was to blame.
Yeah.
For the attack.
Did you write this piece?
No.
No. All right. So from the Post-Millennial, a representative for Karmelo Anthony placed blame on the Frisco Independent School District, as well as the weather, for the murder suspect stabbing Austin Metcalf to death at a district track meet earlier this month. While Dominique Alexander was speaking to reporters on Thursday, he said that Frisco ISD is trying to push off the blame because the school district isn't taking steps to expel Anthony, insinuating that the school district was to blame for the stabbing. He then added, "What I have not heard the media say, as many media outlets asked us what went on, I'm trying to find how many of y'all have asked the superintendent on one of these board of trustees, why didn't you cancel or postpone with weather in that magnitude? You couldn't have a track meet in the rain or thunderstorms or clouds."
Let me tell you,
rain defense.
I had a
Hold on. It gets a little better. Y'all are the media. Ask your journalist, your weather journalist, how the weather was that day and that time. Y'all do that research, because a person who is the administrator of your children, you are responsible for the safety of the children. And so it seems that Frisco ISD is trying to push this off by making this decision that they do not have to make, he said, in reference to Anthony getting expelled. This is insane. Okay, to blame the weather for behavior. And this
Wait till the video comes out.
And
Well,
this
I
is
think
something that I
probably
have
they
a
need
real
metal
bad problem with.
detectors, right?
People, especially people on the left in the United States, when it comes to actions, they tend to look for any other reason aside from the individual that acted. Right, and I actually went through this last night. You see it with some international issues as well. With the Ukraine war, it's not Putin's fault. It's because of the U.S. or because of the Ukraine. In Israel, it's not the Hamas's fault. It's Israel's fault. The idea that the people that actually carry out the violence aren't to blame, that they're victims somehow, that's something the left does all the time. And you heard about it. I mean, Solzhenitsyn wrote about it in the Gulag Archipelago. It would, if you're a normal person and you have a knife, well, you're the bad guy. But if there's a criminal that has a knife and uses it, well, he's a criminal. He ended up there, because of circumstance, etc. So the left is constantly making excuses for people that have the ability to make decisions on their own, that have agency. And in this case, it's no different.
I want to go back to that in a minute, but I just want to talk about the rain because I talked to somebody, a whistleblower called me about this when they said there was no video. And somebody told me about the video that they watched, and this is verified. So I verified my source. Anyway, he wasn't just running to get out of the rain. He didn't just jump into a tent to get out of the rain. He walked past one tent. He walked past another tent. He walked up the bleachers, back down the bleachers, around Metcalf's tent, and then sat in his tent. And so it's not like this, you'll see when the video comes out, but it is not like he was just dodging in a tent to get out of the rain like they're trying to make it seem. That's just not true. So wait to see that. But then in the meantime, you can go finish.
I just still don't understand how this escalated to a knife getting pulled and someone
this
dying.
culture.
It's
this
unbelievable.
disrespecting
He brought the knife on purpose. He brought the knife clearly on purpose with the intent to use it. And as soon as he was picked up afterwards, he said, "No, I did this."
I am interested in seeing what kind of
I
knife.
wonder if he was intending to kill him or if he was just intending to stab him. But he stabbed him right in the heart.
Stabbed him in the chest, yeah.
It is just the culture that says, you dissed me, you disrespected me, you told me to leave, you embarrassed me, you pushed me, you deserve to die. That is becoming more and more prevalent, like I've said a million times, and nobody seems to care or notice or want to talk about it.
See, I don't think that it's, I mean, maybe it is becoming more and more prevalent, but I don't feel like it's new. I remember back, I remember back when I was a kid, you would hear stories about people getting killed for their Jordans.
Yeah, of course.
So it's not, so I don't think that it doesn't happen.
No,
it hasn't happened.
It is just, I promise, I'm going to send you a whole thing. When we get done, I'm going to send you tons of stories and in order. But it is to a different level. If you look at right now, just Google how
I'm busy right now.
Oh well, I forgot you can't multitask. But if you really look up how many teens are dying from shooting and violent deaths like that, the numbers are skyrocketing at an abnormal level.
Okay. Well, I don't think you're wrong. I just
What do you think it is? There's just more people.
No, I know. I think that it's
Godless.
It's probably more. It's probably is more intense now than it's been. Go ahead.
Youth gun deaths in the U.S. have surged 50% since 2019.
Yeah.
It's 20. Is that?
This is 2023.
Yeah, it's been brutal.
Yeah, it's on the rise.
So is that because of? I was under the impression that there was a lot of that because of COVID, and then
it definitely jumped in 2020
because they were buying guns with their stimulus checks.
Yeah, but it's remained consistent. Since so.
All right, so Serge just brought this up for me. In 2020, the homicide rate for youth under 18 in the U.S. was 37% below the peak in 1993. 1993 is when I was talking about, because that's when I was 18. That's when all of gangster rap really kind of exploded onto the scene. So, this kind of does kind of give a point to my point of back in the 90s, there was considerable violence, and we really have gone through a significant decline in violence in the past 30 years up until 2020. But it goes on. But still, in 2020, the homicide rate for youths under 18 in the U.S. was 37% lower than the peak in 1993, but still saw 1,777 victims. This age group represents about 8% of all murder victims that year. Globally, approximately 193,000 homicides occur among those aged 15 to 29 each year, making it the leading cause of death for this age group, according to the WHO. So, yeah, but I don't disagree with you. I don't think that you're wrong about the increase since 2020. That's something that we've actually heard multiple times, those stats, because COVID and because of apparently maybe the stimulus checks. I'm not. Go ahead.
Here we go. Here's another one. Trends in juvenile offending, what you need to know. Homicides perpetrated by juveniles jumped 65%. Like, here, I'll send it to Serge.
Sure.
But like, it's literally out of control. You don't have to. You can look it up later. But like, I'm going to send it to you.
Like I said, I don't disbelieve you, but like it's my sense that
it's my kids
things
that have to hang around with those kids. You know what I mean? Like, or be at the park when they go shoot 7 of them.
Well, again, you live in
it's
the city
disgusting.
too.
I live in Atlanta, so I see a lot.
You live in Atlanta?
I live in Atlanta,
purpose?
and I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Ooh.
Shout out to Louisiana.
Right.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really, really bad. And I think this goes back to the conversation we were having earlier about how young people don't value human life anymore. But in general, I think the rules of engagement have deteriorated across society. Like, people think that violence, theft, murder, any form of violence,
everything.
Yeah, they believe that it's an acceptable form of engaging with others in society. Now that we've passed that point, what now? How do you put the cat back in the bag?
Okay, like, you're all kids, and so I know that I am dating myself here, but crime did peak in the 90s, and for definitely all of your life and most of your life. And Libby's a little younger than me.
I was kind of young in 93, but yeah.
You were definitely kind of young. But the point that I'm making is crime has been going down. Right. So there's and granted, there has been, like, there was definitely a decrease in the death rate, partially because of the ability of people to call from cell phones and stuff like that you can call for help and things like that. That affected how many people actually got how many assaults turned into murders, because if you get shot and you can call the cops, they come and help you out most of the time. And so that
have really gone down in the past.
Pardon me?
Response times have really gone down.
Have gone down. And also, to be honest with you, the ability to deal with traumatic injury is much greater now, because specifically because of the war on terror. They learned a lot from all the dudes getting shot and stuff in the war on terror in the early aughts. But until 2020. It had been going down. So this is not something that we've experienced a lot. Or has you guys haven't.
First time in my life.
Yeah, like, I remember when I was young, it was
even like 12 and 13-year-olds.
What?
Yeah.
I
mean,
I don't remember 12 and 13-years shooting each other ever.
That was happening.
Absolutely.
don't
I mean, look,
remember
drugs, gangs, and have always
Crack was a
used
whole-
But
young
these aren't
people.
even about drugs.
It doesn't matter.
Well, it could be about whatever.
This is what I'm saying. There's like this, it's across the board, especially on the left. It's especially with young people, especially with young Black people too. But it is something in our society that says human life doesn't matter if we don't like you.
That was something that was a phenomenon that this is not new. So I'm not saying that it seems more intense now. But again, in the 90s, the gang wars and all of the stuff that you heard when it came to, Southern California rap, right? Like, all the rap that I grew up listening to, like all the stuff like Dr. Dre, like, they were talking about, I'll kill you just for looking at me the wrong way. That kind of attitude is
it's
something.
on a resurgence then.
Didn't MS-13 form in that environment?
Yes.
Like, within that
Yeah,
context?
probably. I think so.
MS-13
But I mean,
formed in
look,
prisons.
In prisons.
MS-13 was formed in, I believe, a California prison.
You can get shot for wearing Crips and Bloods were killing each other in the 90s, and you could get shot for wearing the wrong color in the wrong part of town. Like, that was a real thing in the 90s. So I not that I want to say you're wrong, but I don't think that it's such a new phenomenon. I think that it's an upsurge since 2020.
What about the
an
political
upsurge
violence?
Well, the political violence is
new?
different. Political violence.
don't think it's
Actually,
different.
no,
I don't
that's
think
not
it's
different either. Because there were Congress got bombed in the 80s.
There was the weather underground in the
in the 70s. We looked
There
into
were
it, and there was
anarchists. William McKinley was shot by an
2,500 bombings in 1971 to 72.
It was Oklahoma City.
Yeah, that was in the 90s.
That was
too.
90s.
You
So
don't think it's an overall decline in like morality across the board? Like that they both don't have the same underlying
I think that's been
principles?
going on for a long time.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think that, but I think it's getting worse over time. And I don't remember politics, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago being this heated, this violent. This,
Politics has gotten pretty
Yeah.
extreme. I would say
Politics-
that level of divisiveness.
yeah, I agree about the politics has the level of divisiveness has increased significantly. There was a time where in the U.S. you could say, I don't really pay attention to politics. And there wasn't the stigma of you being a bad person for it, right? Because nowadays, if you say, I don't really pay attention to politics, people are like, how can you not pay attention when there's a femicide going on in the Congo?
Oh, even
You know what
more,
I mean?
they know you voted for Trump. If you
Oh
do
yeah,
that.
that's another one. Exactly. If it's like a Kafka trap. If you say, "Oh, I don't pay attention," well, then that's confirmation that you're a Trumper or whatever.
Yeah.
So I do think that that's a new thing, but I don't think that it's that politics is what is that? What?
Nothing.
Anyways, all right.
I
So
was passing notes earlier.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.